Hello, and welcome to this video on note-taking. First, let's think of this like a rubric for taking good notes. What would our criteria be when we're assessing note-taking? First would be clarity, second, organization, third, detail, and lastly, use of space. So let's go through what we mean for each one of these terms and how you can make sure you do well for each while you are taking notes. So the first component of effective notes is that they have strong clarity. So the questions you want to ask yourself are the notes easily legible? That is, do you have to struggle to try to understand what you wrote down? Next, are there lots of doodles in the margins or other distractors? Now, doodling sometimes can be helpful, and drawing pictures is certainly a way to help yourself retain material. But if you have a lot of doodles, it can be really challenging for you to stay focused on the material. The last thing you want to think about is the style. So is the style appropriate for the content? So for example, if it is a history course and there's lots of dates and data, is the formatting that you're using capturing that content? Or would it be better to use pictures or a timeline or another kind of diagram? The second criteria you want to think about with your notes is organization. Is there a logic in the notes? And if so, what is that? Are there headings? Which details support others? Are the notes labeled? Do you know what course they are for, what date they were taken on? And can you tell which information is more important and which is less important? This will help you prioritize your studying. Next up is details. Is there more than just a few words? A lot of times, students will struggle with their levels of detail because they may be only writing down what the professor writes down or what appears on the slides. But really, what you want to be able to do is mentally piece together the content of the entire lecture from the contents of your notes. Or do you have a lot of pieces missing that seem to be preventing this? How much of a logical leap do you need to make to see the connections between the information? Do you need to draw arrows? Do you need to add transitional phrases or connector words? Is there the right amount of information left in a given note, or is it too abbreviated? So, for example, if your professor was talking pretty quickly and you abbreviated some things, do you need now, as you're reviewing, to fully spell out that word so you can remember and understand it when you look back at your notes in the future? Now, the last criteria is the use of space. So, how did the notes appear on the page? Is there enough space on the page that the content is not overwhelming? Our brain processes information in chunks. So, if we can visually provide those chunks in our notes, that can help with retaining the information. Have you left any room in the margins for writing any additional notes? So, for example, if you find out later that you need to make a connection to another chapter, or that this is definitely going to be a part of an essay question, do you have space to put that information? And did the notes break page to page in logical places? So, this goes back to what we were saying about our brains processing information in chunks. Did you write large enough to read without strain? And lastly, are your pictures and diagrams well balanced? Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.